God from God, light from light eternal. O come, let us adore him. Amen. It gets darker and darker, and then Jesus is born. This is not a verse from a newly discovered gospel manuscript unearthed somewhere, or the front page headline for Christmas Day 2025. It's a simple message from one of the wise spiritual writers of our time, the poet and farmer Wendell Berry, to another, the inimitable Anne Lamott. The resonance of this message this morning brings us right to the first words of John's Gospel, to the mystery of the Incarnation, to the cosmic interplay of darkness and light. The Gospel writer starts at the very beginning, at creation. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things came into being through him, and without him, not one thing came into being. And that, in turn, takes us directly to the first words of the book of Genesis. In the beginning, when God created the heavens and the earth was a formless void, and darkness covered the face of the deep. Then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw that the light was good, and God separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness God called night. God's first word in creation is light. But we also notice that there is already darkness, that God begins in the darkness, that darkness is part of the story. The light does not obliterate the darkness. The light comes into being alongside the reality of darkness. God is not finished on the first day with light. On the fourth day of creation, God said, "Let there be lights in the dome of the sky to separate the day from the night, to separate the light from the darkness." God creates sun and moon and scatters stars across the sky. The bright lights of moon and stars shine in the darkness. If you've ever had the experience of looking up at the sky in a place where there is profound darkness and no artificial light, you know how stunning it is to see the light of stars and how much is visible against that background of darkness. The darkness and the light. The gospel captures both the reality of darkness and the coming of light. What has come into being in him was life, and the life was the light of all people. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. The good news is that God has been born in Jesus. Love has taken on flesh and lives in the created world. The life and light come to all with power, grace, and truth. Ultimately, the light overcomes the darkness. The darkness will not defeat the light. But for now, from the beginning of creation, through the birth of Jesus, until our own time, the darkness endures. The light and darkness exist in tension with one another, and we live in that tension. It can indeed seem that it gets darker and darker. The stark contrast between darkness and light in our world can be hard to accept and heavy to carry. I used to be known as being somewhere between crabby and very rigid about when Christmas decorations should be put up. Christmas Eve, don't do it before that. I was raised that way, and we all know that's the right way. And I was infuriated by all the people who could not wait for that perfect time. But these days, I have a sense that we have such a strong yearning for light that I don't even judge or fuss or complain when the Christmas lights start appearing just after Halloween. We remember that from the beginning, God is present, both in the darkness and the light. We rejoice in the good news that God came among us in the birth of a child. We hear the simple message. It gets darker and darker, and then Jesus is born. Amen.